Oh, yes, sir, you're very right. So here we are, game number 1 in this best out of 3. It is going to be here, down in the bottom left, the red Zug. It is Jim Rising. And his opponent down here in the bottom right, in the orange, actually. It is going to be the Protoss player. It is Asus Wing.
Indeed. Haven't heard of Asus Wing before.
What a name, man.
Yeah, didn't see this guy in Copa America when we casted.
Yeah, he'll have to change his name if so he doesn't get like conflicting sponsorships.
Oh man, that'd be so annoying if he was sponsored by BenQ.
That'd be a bit awkward there.
Yep.
But finally, we actually have a Protoss now. Everything's just been Zerg for so long, so feeling a little bit relieved here. But nonetheless, Ruins of Enyon to kick things off. Of course, pretty good map. It's been growing on me.
Yeah, I have to say. And not really sure what that means. But right now, we're going to see Asus Wing kind of come out here and scout a bit in the main base. Gonna see what's happening. Not anything in particular, though, from Jim Rising. Just your standard opening. Gonna get that speed, gonna get your hatchery, gonna get your pool. But it's always good to see the probe come out there and make sure that we're not gonna see that kind of gas pool opening, so you can see the super early all-ins or the drop play. And of course, it's always good to see if there's going to be 3 hatch before pool, because then you can block one of those and be quite annoying.
I like this, that Asus Wing leaves his probe on the 3rd base location. He's going to actually chrono a Zealot, interestingly enough, which more often than not, you usually see Protoss players skip that. We do like getting the Adept out first. But the only thing it'll do, I mean, it is going to slow things down a little bit, but will go for the pylon block nonetheless. And this is, of course, a bit frustrating for Jim Rising, but he will be able to deal with this rather quickly because he's got the fallings on the way. Very quick, oh, Lord Speed being squeezed in here, though. And he's still mining gas.
Yeah, he
okay.
is.
Only one.
And the thing is here that if you paid attention to the fact that there was no speed being upgraded, Asus Wing will know something's up. You know, no speed, overlord speed, of course, or rather no circling speed, but overlord speed. That is a pretty big tell, you know. But then again, he maybe wasn't paying attention. A lot of people don't look at that pool, which might end up punishing him quite a bit. We're going to see Stargate now coming out here from Asus Wing, and he's going to have those Phoenix out just in time to deal with any kind of overlord shenanigans. But Jim Rising, he's not getting that evolution chamber yet, and without circling speed, it doesn't really look like he wants to do too much with his overlords.
No, I mean, what can you do versus a Protoss without speed, especially on a map like this? It's going to be very tough. But double Stargate, it will be here for our Protoss. And this is going to be scouted, of course. The overlord speed can be so nice to have. So I'm glad that we see that come into play more often nowadays. But nonetheless, double Stargate Phoenix will get the denial perhaps on the probe. No, doesn't focus fire correctly here, so probe will get away with his life.
Yeah, and well, it's worth noting as well right now that, as we said before, we don't really know too much about Asus Wing. Haven't seen too much from this player before. And Jim Rising, of course, the bigger name here. Pretty decent Latin America player. Most people here probably have heard of Jim Rising. But coming in here with that overlord speed, these kind of builds I love for ladder because they are just so good at scouting everything that's happening. And you tend to be slightly behind because you cut something like speed, for instance, but you know exactly what your opponent is up to. So if you think you're that much better that you can get away by cutting the right corners, if you just have all the information, then this is kind of the style you want to play.
Looking at things, though, slight supply block here for Asus Wing, which, of course, very, very annoying. His Warp Gate will finish up shortly, as the 3rd base is about halfway done, but he hasn't been able to add any additional Phoenix into this. So now he starts, oh my god, 2 Void Rays. I mean, these are of course going to be excellent defensively in case there was some sort of big Roach-based pressure, perhaps with Roaches and Ravages coming his way, but that's not what we're seeing out of Jim Rising. Ooh, this is interesting though, a very quick fleet beacon. Are we perhaps going to see those carriers hit the field shortly?
That could be a thing. Could also see, I mean, we could technically see Tempest, but I do like me some carriers.
Yeah, I think, you know, just like getting random Tempest
Yeah, I agree that the carries are so much better.
Yeah, because they actually have damage with them. Like they have actual DPS.
The thing with the Tempest is like it's such a ladder build. Like it's happened to me too many times where I see that I'm like, oh, you're going carries, and suddenly like I see so many Tempests just
like
coming about.
7 Tempests.
Yeah,
and then that's when they start one-shotting all of your overlords and one-shotting like a Hydra here, Queen there.
And you still win because you have mass Hydras, but still, I mean,
because that's the problem.
You're just so shocked. You're like, oh, I completely misread that situation.
The Zug will simply walk across the map, break down the rock, and kill you.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean.
But it's still such a, like, you just get so shocked. You're like, oh, I thought this was going to be carries. Okay.
It's this sort of weird kind of thing going on there. But I mean, he is going to have these 2 Void Rays finish up nonetheless. And now he does have the Fleet Beacon.
Yeah,
he's actually got more. He's got Void Rays already, so he's adding in number 3 and 4 here, interestingly enough. I'm sort of split as to why he's going for the Voids and why he didn't go for those Phoenixes. Phoenixes, of course, very, very strong units.
I think he's practicing some disinformation here, you know. He's going to get the wrong stuff. Like this is how, you know, back in the old times where like all those agencies would like practice disinformation where they would like...
So it's like the Cold War.
Yeah, almost.
Oh, but there we have them. There's the carriers.
Oh, finally.
With the Graviton Catapult as well. So now finally things starting to make a little bit more sense here for the Protoss, because going for those so many Void Rays at the start, I don't agree with this all too much.
Oh dear, Hyderspeed just now finishing up.
You have to recall, get out of here, you have to recall.
This is bad, he's going to focus down that Mothership Core, and that goes the Mothership Core, that goes those Void Rays, and that goes the Protoss.
Yeah, he's going to lose every single one. Okay.
That goes the first map for the Protoss.
Yeah, basically. Because the carriers are not going to be out for quite some time. He's adding in a 3rd target, but yeah, this is just, wow.
Yeah, and well...
Very, very bad position all of a sudden. I mean, even though he had invested into those, if he could just have bought some time and waited for those carriers to get out once Graviton Catapult is done, then maybe he could have been able to hold on versus this. I mean, there's not too many Hydras on the field, but all of a sudden they look a lot more threatening because there's simply no unit here for the Protoss.
Yeah, it looks like the Protoss is busy typing and not actually playing. So Jim Rising taking that first map and...
A bit of funny shenanigans from that. But now we are loading in, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are, Prion Terraces, with our first player up here in the north. In the red, it is going to be Jim Rising. And these guys still screwing around with the colors, making things a lot more complicated than they need to be. But down here, his opponent, the orange Protoss, it is going to be Asus Wing.
All right. Orange versus red.
Oh, so frustrating to see.
Well, right now, Asus Wing.
Scout.
Yeah, very quick probe scout here. You gotta make sure, of course, that Jim Rising is not gonna try something cheeky.
Yeah.
As I said before, it's not too shabby to scout for those early gold bases.
But Alex, we have a fort going down right now.
Yeah, and this is if it comes on in here.
Are we back in like 20? Are we back in 2012?
Hey, this happens on the ladder all the time.
Is he gonna cannon rush him?
He's definitely gonna cannon rush him.
Oh, he's gonna block the top of the ramp, isn't he?
You think so?
Yeah.
So I've seen this version with the gas steel, which is so dirty, but you can still just block the ramp, which is so annoying. And there we go. And Jim Rising doesn't see this, of course, until that extractor is finished, or he's sending out a unit in that position. And there we go. Okay, so he does have a drone.
There we go.
Yeah, he should pull drones right away to try to kill with a 1 pylon. But, this is so annoying. Gotta watch out so you don't lose your first probe there.
Second probe comes on in. Will save the day. First cannon on the way right now. So he's getting the pull. He's going to go for the second gas as well, because, I mean, he will eventually, or he might potentially end up losing that, but he's actually not got a single probe on the inside of the main base here for Jim Rising, so he will be able to just cannon things up here outside. But that's going to be it. He's not going to be able to apply any further pressure.
Yeah, I mean, the problem, though, for Jim is the fact that Asus Wing eventually will be getting his natural, and the only way for Jim not to have all his cards into one basket is to try to expand. But, yeah, gonna see. Oh, almost gets the probe here. Jim right now, nice micro.
And one of these drones also very low. Could turn around and perhaps face certain doom if he doesn't play it careful. But, I mean, just in general now, this is so frustrating for Zerg to deal with. To sort of, you know, you have to break out. You will have to invest a decent number of resources into this. He's dropping the Roach Warrior now. Asus Wing, of course, he does have the Forge back at home, so he could just drop down a couple of defensive cannons on top of his ramp, and from there, you know, defend his expansion if he decides to go for it just now. But he is still sort of playing back. He actually went for the full wall off.
Oh, it's time. He's going to go for the aggressive roaches.
Oh, I like this. I like this.
Yeah, not to break himself out. And Asus Wing right now, what does he have at home? Well, he doesn't add any cannons whatsoever. And this is such an awkward position because as a pros right now, you feel that you're so far ahead, etc. You have, you know, you have control, or you make sure there's no other expansions for your opponent. You're like, okay, you know, you're right now not doing too much. You're having something in your main base, maybe Nidus. I'm going to keep track of that. But this is going to be proxy hatchery.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I'm sort of disliking a lot here from Ace Swing is the fact that he just didn't go straight for that expansion after going for the full wall off. Because there's just no way for the Zerg to punish it. But now he's been giving him ample time. And now he's going to see that hatchery. And it's more than halfway done at this point. So Pylon will go down. Needs to get that Mothership core out ASAP. The drone will actually fall. Could have come into use, you know, dropping a very quick spine crawler, for instance. Would have been nice to be able to do here. But nonetheless, we've got a bunch of these Ravagers out, and he's starting to break down these cannons, or these pylons. And will kill the cannon on the low ground as well, and then he sends those across the map.
Yeah, well, the hatchery's going to finish up here, looks like, for Team Rising, and he can start making those roaches ASAP. Remember, the roaches, of course, can kite the zealots very easily on creep, but you don't actually have any space to run around the hatchery. And we're going to see this, the stalker as well as the Mothership core come out. So it's going to be annoying for Team Rising, trying to deal with all this. But he's going to send his Ravagers and Roaches. And there's very little right now for Ace's Wing. He does have that Immortal on his way, but all Team Rising has to do is kind of secure these Roaches and stay them as long as possible.
Yeah, but this Nexus will go down even before the Queen finishes up here. So not going to get any creep tumors out or anything like that, but we'll perhaps be able to isolate these units on the low ground. However, mismicroing his Roaches here, they will end up falling. Now he's going to take them the pylon. There's a 1 or 2 lava remaining here by this hatchery. Zealot will fall as well. Stalker is forfeit. Clumsy controller from Ace's Wing. He's actually not paying attention.
Now the Immortal will come out though, so these Ravagers will break in, but with the Immortal, I don't think he can do too much as Team Rising, even losing one of those Ravagers. Should have used a bit of more pullback micro perhaps, but now we see Overlord speed, we see Zergling speed, and the expansion coming out here from Team Rising, also getting that Evo chamber, so it looks like he wants to play a bit of a more interesting game here, and with that Evo chamber he can start dropping units into his opponent's base.
Yeah, that's what I'm sort of thinking here, right? Like, just like we saw Nurture, when he got into a bit of a weird position, he went for those drops and he just masked speedlings basically, and to great effect. So maybe we'll see something similar here out of Team Rising, because I mean, Immortals aren't on the field here for the Protoss. Roaches and Ravagers not really going to be cutting it in these low numbers. So, I mean, what do you think? What sort of solutions should Team Rising work with here?
I would just like to see a big speeding flood. He's getting his lab, but I mean, to be honest, just getting a huge speeding flood and trying to surround the Immortal ACP could be enough to just easily win him the game. He's on 2 bases against 1. All he needs to do is kind of shut down the natural attempt or an all-in from Ace's Wing, and he's going to be in a really good position. Here we go, though. Nice little Overlord drop into that main base. Go to almost kill the Stalker right away.
Yeah, forces the recall and kills the Stalker. Now he can actually back out of there. And will save the 2 expensive Ravagers. Roach will, of course, be left to his destiny. But nonetheless, War Prism is finishing up right now here for Ace's Wing. And he's got the Immortals. Can go for the drop. And Team Rising is actually going to go for the 3rd base. He doesn't know that there's no Nexus, actually, here for the Protoss.
Yeah, hasn't paid too much attention to it, so this of course can be very dangerous for Team Rising. Ace's Wing right now moving out. This is a lot of units, but it was scouted by Team Rising. He did cancel, I believe, or not even starting. Didn't actually pay attention if he did start the hatchery.
No,
but
he's
now,
adding in more units here.
Yeah, now he needs to add a lot of speedlings. Speedlings will be so important to get around these Immortals, although they will be lifted up right away. Ravagers will help quite a bit as well against that War Prism, but they are used aggressively right now. Need to morph a few extra.
I'm kind of liking it because, I mean, it does put more pressure on Ace's Wing, but now he's going to be able to actually get right on top of these Ravagers, morphing only between 4 and 6 speedlings on the map here. Not too many. And now with this War Prism, he will be able to go for that pickup micro. Will have to drop a couple of corrosive vials on top of these Stalkers, getting some good connections there, but some great control.
Whoa,
however, in
Immortals.
Yeah, those are the key units to keep alive here right now. Some sloppy control in the end. I mean, it started out very well, but the moment that you slip up, everything can spiral out of control. Another Stalker will end up falling, and these Lings, Alex, doing such great work.
Yeah, well, a lot of Ravagers now with those 2 joining fray as well. Ace's Wing right now being cleaned up, trying to micro the 1 Immortal, 2 Stalkers, still warping in though. But he can't lift all these units. Some of them are going to be forfeit. Gets the War Prism. These units are now trapped.
Might actually lose these 2 Ravagers, which of course is a little unfortunate for him. But nonetheless, he's held effectively. And now there's no expansion for Aces Wing. He's got the money for it, but still going to be very tough to hold on to here.
Yeah, I don't think he can hold this. He's going to lose his last Immortal, even dancing a bit here, you know, playing around. GG, Jim Rising going to beat his opponent.